Hey there, friends and fellow parents. This is Brian King, trying to very creatively eliminate the sun glare, which isn't with one of my Facebook friends who, like me, is raising a child with executive function issues, ADHD, some other challenges. And one conversation that I see often in regards to diagnosing ADHD and so forth is this whole idea of subsets, different types of ADHD. Some say there are 3, some say there are 7. I say there's as many as there are people diagnosed with it. But regardless of that, is there a simple way to determine how impacted you or your child are by ADHD? And my answer to that is kinda. I think there is. And in the work that I do and how I work with people, it boils down to how well do they execute on the instructions they're given. Because one common piece of advice is to make sure your child understands what's being asked of them. Have them repeat back to you what they heard. That's an important step, but that doesn't equal understanding. What equals understanding is, can they do it? Because executive functions doesn't refer to you having the kind of skills an executive sitting in an office has. What executive functions means is the root word of executive, execute. Can they execute? Can they take organized action in order to implement the request of whoever's giving it? A parent, a teacher, a coworker, a boss? Can they do it? So you can have a child, look, take me for instance. I can speak clearly, I can be articulate, I can juggle some pretty complex ideas, I can talk all day long. But if you ask me to do something in an organized way, hey, clean this room up, or sweep this out, I'm not going to do it in a logical way. And it's not because I'm slacking off or half-assing it or whatever. It's because my brain doesn't tackle kinesthetic activities in a linear fashion. It has a certain way of kind of doing it in a maze-like circuitous way. And that's because my executive skills are compromised by my ADHD. So I don't care how intelligent you are, how intelligent your kid is. That can get them so far. Like case in point, there are a lot of CEOs in this country that have ADHD. And they're wonderful visionaries. They can talk all day long and say, this is what I envision us doing, this is how I see it going, now you execute. Okay? Somebody else who has the skills I don't can take what's in my head and you can make it happen. I can think about it, I can conceive of it, but if you ask me to do it, it's going to be a disaster. And I imagine you know people like this. I was talking to a colleague of mine yesterday, and we're working together on a business project, and she is tremendous at coming up with the visual flow. This is how it's going to look. This is what we're going to do first. This is what comes next. But she is unable to execute. That's where I come in. I am horrendous at coming up with the plan. I know what outcome I want. I just have no clue how to get there, especially if it's a step-by-step process. So she sets up the step-by-step, and she says, okay, Brian, this is what we're going to do. Then, bam, I sit down and I knock it out. That's just my skill. I can't organize it, but I can execute it. She can organize it, but not execute it. We both have ADHD, but it shows up differently. So if you want to know what your or your child's challenges are, go to the execution phase. You say you understand it. You say you understand what's being requested of you, but show me. Can you do it? That's ultimately where you're going to see the gaps, and that's what you teach to. That's where the supports are. The supports are to those gaps in execution. Because I've heard time and time again from parents and teachers, oh, but he's so smart. Oh, but she's so creative. Why can't she just? No. There's no she can just, because sometimes the intelligence that happens simply inside the head can be a misrepresentation of what a person's challenges actually are. How effectively do they engage the world? So that's what I want you to consider as far as determining the impact that ADHD truly has on a person and where they need supports in order to be more effective. Man, without my schedules, without my reminders, I would forget everything. Without the people to help me come up with these systems I need to keep my days organized, I would be all over the place, chasing every shiny object, even worse than I already do. And what I accomplish from one day to the next would be completely random. It would be based on what's most stimulating as opposed to what is in alignment with my goals, what process needs to be completed in order to accomplish a task or a goal. And this isn't done all by me. This is done with the help of people who are better at a lot of things than I am, who I've worked with to help me put these systems in place that my brain couldn't do on its own, and leveraging my ability to execute and implement systems that somebody else helped me create. So remember that every time you see me doing something that seems really, really valuable, somebody else had a role in helping me do that. And that's not only a good thing, that's an essential thing. Because my ability to reach my potential and provide the greatest value I can for you is a team effort. It's not me showing up and wearing all the hats and taking all the credit. Heck no. A community of people is responsible for my success, period. And if you think for 1 second that it's going to be any different for you, that's fear, that's ego, that's arrogance, whatever you want to call it. But the fact that you're trying to do it all without help, if you are, you're shooting yourself in the foot, period. You're holding yourself back because you're too proud to ask for help and to include people in your success because you want all the credit. Guess what? Ain't gonna happen. They say it's lonely at the top, especially if you're arrogant and you think that you're the one that got you there without any help. It's lonely because nobody wants to talk to a selfish POS who doesn't give credit where it's due. If you are gonna make it to the top of anything, take all the people with you that helped you get there, because that's not only gonna help you stay there, but that's also gonna make sure that your team follows you and that they're elevated too. Because gosh darn it, you wouldn't be there without them. So praise them, thank them, be grateful for them, utilize them, and make sure you're adding some value to their lives too, because we're all in this together, folks. If one of us succeeds, we all succeed because we did not do it alone, ever. So, just my 2 cents on this. Hopefully this has been helpful. If so, please let me know in the comments, and by all means, let other people know about this. Share it with them so they can benefit as well. Until we talk again, this has been Brian. Thanks for being you.